He is staying. The decision has finally been made. Benjamin Sesko is not moving a muscle away from RB Leipzig despite big interest from several clubs, including Manchester United. Meanwhile, Erik Ten Hag and INEOS seem to be moving on. Forget about the talk. They must be getting down with business, as it's being revealed by Rob Dawson that the two parties have put together a list of strikers to bring in the summer. Welcome to the United Sport. My name is Webb. Like, share, and subscribe as we do get into this Manchester United update. We are powered by Uplift Causes, www.upliftcauses.org. Visit them and check out what they do in terms of supporting young kids take charge of their mental health. But let's get proper into the biggest update coming through from a young player, 21 years of age, Slovenian. He is a hot striker, would have been a perfect backup striker for Rasmus Højlund, but unfortunately, probably for several reasons, he could have wanted to go to Manchester United. Of the three clubs, Man United, Arsenal, and Chelsea, who are interested in him, Benjamin Sesko perhaps would have wanted to go to Manchester United, but because of the uncertainty surrounding the manager situation, he opted to stay. So what? Let me stay put for my development. He has made the decision to stay put at RB Leipzig, put pen to paper to a contract extension, meaning Man United will have to look elsewhere. Now, speaking of looking elsewhere, this is the latest coming through from Rob Dawson. This is the ESPN guy who I think broke the story about Manchester United and Thomas Tuchel having conversation. So he has come out to say that Man United have drawn up a list of striker targets ahead of the summer transfer window, and these include Ivan Toney, Jonathan David, and Joshua Zirkzee. These are the three strikers. Remember, according to the new INEOS way of doing things, they will be going for three players. If they know that the manager needs a player in this position, they'll come up with a list of three, give him to choose one. Now, with Benjamin Sesko already gone, it is being said that these are some of the strikers they're looking at. Of course, Ivan Toney will be top of the list on that, and I think it will be odds on favorites. It's a bit disappointing that my favored Sahu Girassi is not being considered anywhere. He's not coming up in conversations as we edge closer to the transfer window. But it is early days to think it cannot be done. We will wait and see. I still have a chance. They could be looking at him probably. Now, talking about Erik Ten Hag and INEOS, the clock is ticking, and as it looks now, the focus has seems to have gone back now on the transfers because Erik Ten Hag is back at Carrington, and the expectation is that the two parties, of course, INEOS now and Erik Ten Hag have sat together and trying to come up with things. Now, what should you expect in the coming weeks? Probably is maybe if Erik Ten Hag is indeed staying, there won't be a confirmation. So it's either a confirmation by INEOS that they are sacking Erik Ten Hag or nothing, because I don't think they will be writing a statement to confirm that he's staying put. I think they'll just ignore all the talk and move on with their business if he's staying. Now, but also expect Man United to be going on with conversations for players. I expect a meeting with Michael Olise, first of all. For example, Erik Ten Hag, I think it is one of the reasons he was called back early from his holiday, even before the Euros start. He's back to business because he has got to be involved in whatever they're doing now in terms of talking to players. And it is said we booked a meeting with Michael Olise. So did Chelsea. Chelsea seem to be as busy as they were in the last summer. They are getting down with their business so early. It's a good thing because it gives the manager time to work with his squad, and by the time they get into the preseason, then the start of the season, at least these players have jailed a bit. So I think for me, Chelsea are a step ahead of us, especially because it's us and them who have been in sort of a rebuilding phase. So that's where we are. Erik Ten Hag is also now getting down with business. It is indeed time to work now, and the talk should stop. We will now focus on getting the business done. Now, still talking Manchester United. Luke Shaw has returned training with the full England squad. It's a good update that for Manchester United, one of the two players in the England camp who will be taking part in the Euros. We're hoping we would see him at the end of the season. It didn't happen, but it is good now that he's back training fully with the squad. He might be on the pitch for the first England game at the Euros. A big, impressive update that. Now, away from that, Joao Neves, the man, the boy who we all believe should be coming in to replace Casemiro, is still top on the radar for Manchester United. He's wanted, and but he's the sad news, and I get to be the bearer of sad news. There's been a report that has come out to suggest, and I said it here before, if you do check our past videos, that Manchester United will have a net spend of about 50 million pounds. That's the money available to spend on transfers, 50 million pounds. Now, if you want players like Lenny Yoro, Joao Neves. We want any of these strikers that we've been linked with, Ivan Tony, name them, and we want a left back. That money cannot be even enough for perhaps two of them, just two of them, even the least expensive. So the idea now is that with Erik Ten Hag back, what they're doing is trying to audit the squad, trim it, and know which players they want to sell. Then they will start looking for clubs that will be bidding for them. That's exactly what's happening, which I think for me is so it shows that there's a lot of work to be done, and that's why we've been making noise about the manager situation because before we even get into the summer transfer window, there's a lot of work we need to be doing behind the scenes so that when we get into the window, we just roll out what we want to do. Galatasaray have been linked with two of our players, Scott McTominay and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but their offer is really, really disrespectful. So I think we cannot consider those. The reality is, Man United players are extremely, extremely not attractive. Omar Foson, for example, has left Manchester United. He's going to Monza. He's going to Italy. So you can imagine Manchester United players are not really really attractive. So it's a sad thing that's why we are. But yet we need to sell these players to make money. So it's a very disappointing thing for our players not to be that attractive, yet we need to rely on them to get the money. Meaning, INEOS have got to do something about where they go because if we want to make money out of these players, we've got to sell them to Saudi. But most of our players who we want to let go of may not want to play in Saudi. That's the tricky bit. That's the tricky bit we're being faced with. But we still need to get the money from the squad if we are going to sign players. That's exactly what we need to do. So it's a bit of I think it's a fairly decent update because I feel like it's progressive. I feel like there's a semblance of progress now at Manchester United. We seem to be having a direction. We seem to be trying to do stuff now. We seem to be progressive. We seem to be coming up with ideas. If we're talking of a striker to come and back Rasmus Højlund, I think Ivan Toney of the list that has Jonathan David and Joshua Zaxi, I think I would go for Ivan Toney without a doubt. He's in the Euros team. He certainly, I think, proved himself that he can be an important player for a big side. I think it's that point in time he has got to make that leap from Burnley and go to a bigger club. It's either now or never. Arsenal, I still think Arsenal lucky without saying I do still want him because I got into a long time ago, so many months ago, that Arsenal were so much interested in him, even when he was still on his ban. If they are not, and his valuation, like we anticipated, has gone down, the valuation of his valuation by the club, I think for me, he's a player we can probably go for, and he will be a proper player to come in and push Rasmus Højlund to try and get the best out of him. So that's where we are. The reality is there is hope that Erik Ten Hag will stay, and very soon, trust you me, it will be clear as a day. My name is Webb. Subscribe to the Network Sport. I will be back later. This was just a quick update to keep you up to speed with what has happened surrounding Manchester United today. It's been a busy day, slow progress, but good progress. Slowly but surely, we will get there. Subscribe, like, and share. I'll catch you later.